A while ago, when I first made a video called How to Make Money on the Road, I had just come from a job fair at Amazon, and one of the options was Adventureland, and I was really excited about Adventureland. It seemed like a great place to bring kids. You're at an amusement park, and since I have worked here and I have been here 3 months, I wanted to give you guys my honest opinion about how work camping for Adventureland was. Even though I think that everybody watching these videos knows that I really didn't care for Adventureland.
When the road calls, Modigazzi Travels. When the water falls, Modigazzi Travels. Where the free winds blow, that's where we go, Modigazzi Travels. Your family on the road.
I wanted to go into more detail about why I didn't really care for Adventureland. First of all, it may have been coming from the unstructured or an environment that had really no structure, and I was able to kind of have freedoms that I really enjoyed, to something so structured. Besides that, it was just the excess or the over implementation of rules. There is a long list of rules that they implement at Adventureland, and I have been told multiple times about different rules. I'll give you guys just some examples one by one here. If you wear black shoes, you must wear black socks and a tan belt. If you wear white shoes, you must wear white socks and a brown belt. I had worn my name tag. I had my name tag on, and I was, I had a supervisor come up to me and said, "That needs to go over your heart." So, I kind of put it over my heart, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, anatomically, that's where your heart is." He said, "Don't be a smart aleck. It goes on the left side." So, okay, so I had that, and there's just been kind of a new rule every day that you kind of have to put up with here. A friend was working retail, and she was chewing gum, and the supervisor came up and said, "What do you have in your mouth?" And she said, "Gum." And she goes, "Well, spit it out. You're not allowed to chew gum here." Like she's in 2nd grade again. There were so many things, it would be hard to kind of go over all of them. I'll give you an example of one day when myself, Raquel, and the kids went to the swimming pool. So at the swimming pool, we have a little, I don't know exactly, she couldn't be a lifeguard because I don't know if she can swim or not. I've never seen her in the water. But there's 2 people that take shifts sitting at the pool. We went to the pool. I'm kind of a big guy, so I usually leave my shirt on even in the pool. And so first of all, you got to have a little bracelet, and those bracelets stick on. They're not snap or anything, and if you pull them off, you basically have to get a new bracelet. And so I went to the office to get our bracelet, and since we're work camping, we're going to be here for several months. Instead of putting them on, I just carried them with us so they could see that we have them. We went in the pool, and the first thing that she did was walk over to us and say, "Where's your bracelets?" And I said, "Well, we're work campers. We're going to be here a while. They're laying right there on the table." She said, "No, they must be on you. You must put them on your kids." So fine, we went ahead and followed those guidelines. We actually kind of rubber band them on and did all kinds of stuff. But as I was getting into the pool, she came over and said, "What's your shirt made out of?" And I was like, "What does that mean? What is my shirt made out of?" I said, "I don't know. It's like a 50-50 blend. It's like 50% polyester and 50% cotton." She said, "You can't wear that in the pool." And I was taken aback. I was flabbergasted. I was like, "Why?" And she said, "Well, you can't wear cotton shirts of any type in the pool." And I was like, okay. So I went home, changed it to a regular, all 100% man-made polyester synthetic shirt, and went back over. And on the way back over, we grabbed some floaties. We had a little inner tube that you use for a swimming pool. I mean, it's not an actual car inner tube. It's actually made for the swimming pool. It's made for, swimming. We had floaties, and we all went back over again. And as soon as I walked in the door, she came over and goes, "You can't have that in here." And she said, I said, it's made for the pool. She goes, "Well, you can't have the inner tube in here." I was like, okay, fine. So we went in and sit down, and I drink energy drinks, and I was sitting at the table, and I just felt her staring holes into me. And she walks up and she goes, "Is that a BEER?" And I was like, "How old are you?" You know, like, it's not a beer. I said, "It's an energy drink." And I mean, for all I know, I think that we're allowed to, inside the park, drink beer. Of course, I wouldn't do it over in the pool, so fine. And then I use a vapor pen. I have stopped smoking, and I haven't smoked for probably 2 years or more, and I vape. And so I'm in there, and yeah, I kind of just secretly, you know, I'm like, because I could feel her staring at me. And then she comes over again, and I put my vapor pen down between my legs, and she comes over and she looks down between my legs, and she goes, "You can't do that in here." And I was like, "Well, there's no express rule about using a vapor pen in the park or in the RV park or anything like." She goes, "Well, it falls under the same classification as smoking." But needless to say, that was the last time that we used that particular amenity. We did not, you know, after that. I think the kids and Raquel may have went back one more time, but it sort of just leaves a sour taste in your mouth, and that's just one day, you know, just one short period of time. But every instance that they can do something like that, it has been done. And I was told when I initially got this position that I could change my position inside doing Adventureland if it didn't work out in one, or change my schedule. And they put me on PM shift, and Raquel, of course, as you guys know, is working outside the park, and she works PM. And I need to be home with the kids, and I want to be home with the kids. And so I went to them, and I gave them a week, actually more than a week, and I said, "I need to go to AM shift." And I said, "When I can, I will work doubles, but I'm going to have to switch to AM shift." So the next week they still have me on PMs, and I worked those PMs, and I told them, I said, "No, I've told you guys I really have to go on AMs." And so the next week it was just imperative. I had to go on AM. So I just showed up in the morning and told them I'm working AM and I'm not working PM. And so they let me work, you know, and every day I show up, and it's just a struggle to tell them I have to work AMs, I'm not working PMs. And they look at you, you know, like you're doing something completely wrong because you're shrugging your responsibility of working the PM shift. And so I did that for every day for a week, every day, and then the next week, every day for like 3 days. And then I came in and they said, "We do not need anybody on PM." And now I'm gonna let you guys in on why they don't need anybody on we don't need anybody on AM. I'm gonna let you guys know why they don't need anybody on AM. Because they hire kids here 14 years old. Those kids make $6 an hour, and those kids get priority. Like they work those kids more, and they can only work till like 3:30 p.m. and that's why they want those kids to work more, because they're saving $2 an hour per employee. And so they have those kids work more. There's 16-year-olds who can, you know, like certain rides those kids cannot work on. There's 16-year-olds, they make $7 an hour. So that's $1 less than the work campers make here. And so they get priority. And then you have the retirees who have been here multiple years, still making the $8 an hour that they're giving them, but you know, they fall into line, and they love, you know, some of them, not all of them, you know, some are very super nice and wonderful people, but some of them really like to grasp the reins of that power that they're given and make sure that they let everyone know that these are the rules and you must follow them, toe the line, and they get priority. Now the younger work campers like us, and the work campers who do not have retirement, who are relying on the money that's coming from here, their last priority. And James and Carolina from Wanderlust Estate, they're doing, you know, sometimes 3 or 4 days a week, you know, because these people are getting priority over them. The last straw that really left a sour taste in my mouth is we had a gentleman in his 70s. I had met him once. He seemed like a nice guy. He actually died on Raging River. He was an assistant on this boat ride, and he fell down into where the boats come up, and from the injuries he sustained from that, he died. Now, I've worked at multiple places, and in these places, if I stub my toe, we call a team meeting, and we go, hey, Charlie stubbed his toe. Hey, Charlie, how's your toe? And by the way, everybody make sure you're careful and don't stub your toe. This man, they didn't signify his life. They didn't say one word about him. There wasn't a moment of silence. There wasn't anything about this man. It was complete blackout, cover up. They just wanted to completely shut everyone up. And in fact, if you talked about it, they would say, you're not allowed to talk about that at work. It's just slimy. It's slimy. It's terrible. They don't have to assume responsibility for an accident, but they do have to go, hey, this guy lived. This guy worked for us. You know, he was a life. He was a living being that, you know, his life was gone while he worked for us. And I find out from what I'm told, and I'm not saying this to be 100% a fact, that the guys who run this, the brothers, they're all lawyers, and maybe it's a legal reason, but what I'm saying is, I mean, just signify the guy lived. Say, hey, this guy was a great employee. He worked for us. He was here, and he served us well. Everybody, you know, take a few minutes and, you know, just think about him. You know, pay your respects and be careful. You know, when you're on this ride. Nothing. You know, I mean, and I found here that money means a lot more than family. If they say that this is a family park, I disagree. This is all about bringing in the money. You know, in all the time that I've been here, I've been passed by, they call them black shirts. I've been passed by the upper management. You know, they don't signify that you're existing. You know, if I can suggest, if you are a younger work camper and you have other options, skip Adventureland. You know, go do the Beet Harvest, go do Amazon. And I mean, even if I can suggest to families, if you're thinking about a vacation, you know, just think about the way it is internally. It is kind of fun to go in there, really. Like, if you don't know the mechanics behind the situation, I mean, the rides are fun, and there are some really nice people that work there, and I've met some really amazing people, and it's not their fault. It's not their problem. This is a top-down issue. This is to me, it is a business of greed and of negativity and, you know, things like that. And I wash my hands of it, and that's it. I'm leaving, and the next thing I see about Adventureland is going to be in the rearview mirror, and I'm never looking back. But that's all I have to say about it. So I hope this helps someone. Thank you guys a lot for watching, and I know this is long and I just went on. But if you like it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're Modigazzi, we're living in an RV.